3:52.54. He swam at 23:46, biked at 2:11.14, ran a 1:12.08 to take the title. He is your Ironman 70.3 Swansea 2024 champion, representing the United Kingdom, Harry Palmer.
Yeah, so there we go, managed to get the win, and I thought I'd do a bit of a post-race debrief now. Thanks so much to everyone who managed to get content for me, and I've managed to scramble together some sort of video for this. And before I get going and talking about the race and how it unfolded, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who's been a part of this. You know, having 2 back-to-back wins means a lot. It's given me a big confidence boost. So all the support I'm getting on social media, support from coaches, training partners, family members, Melissa, who's sat over here. Yeah, just thank you so much, because you've all been a part of this. And I know it's been a pretty undulating journey to get to this point. I'm sure there'll be a lot more downs as well. But I'm just riding this high at the minute, and it feels really good. So I thought I'd just go through the race and let you guys know kind of what happened from my perspective in the moment, and kind of the after effects of that as well, and what I'm going to do going forward essentially. So yeah, went into the race feeling pretty good. I was confident. I had the ability for a good result, but I knew there was some really hard competition there. You know, I knew Andy was going to bring his A game. I knew Joe Skipper was going to be racing really hard, Jack Hutchins, Freddie Webb, a few of the other guys. You know, I knew there was some really good guys on the start list. So essentially, and this is where I made my first mistake, I told Andy that I was going to sit on his feet for the whole swim. So I was like, just be nice and let me sit on your feet. And obviously Andy knows that he's a faster swimmer than me, and within the first 100 meters he'd already put in a gap. So we start the swim and I'm breathing to my right, and I'm in line with everyone. I've got Freddie Webb on my right, I've got Jack Hutchins over there, got a few other lads, and I'm like, cool, I'm in the front pack here. I look over to my left and Andy is already 200 meters towards the first buoy, and I'm like, shit, that's not ideal. So we had to let Andy go, and then essentially I kind of led that chase pack for the next, maybe the first 400 meters, navigating around the boys. And then it was actually really good because I had Freddie Webb, who came through, obviously trained with Freddie pretty much every day, really good training partner, and he shared the load with me for the rest of the swim. And I don't think we were like completely on the rivet for the whole swim, but we were definitely swimming pretty strong, and maybe came out maybe a minute behind Andy, but the swim it was pretty uneventful, to be honest. It was just me and Freddie leading the pack, and just navigating through the swim as best we could. Then comes the funny part, is I lead out the chase pack, and I'm running around this corner, and they've got the red carpet, and the kind of, to keep bits of the carpet together, they've got this red tape, and I didn't really clock on the fact that would be really slippery when I've got wet feet. And so I'm running around the corner, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in a great position here. I'm leading out the chase pack. This is mega. I'm second up the swim, and I absolutely stack it. Like I hit the deck pretty hard, and unfortunately, my mum's got a very clear video of this, which I'll show now. And it was super embarrassing. But I've got to give a big shout out to Jack Hutchins, who is the only person there who actually had an attempt to kind of break my fall or pick me up. So I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. And then I kind of, in front of everyone, I just have to, chuck myself back up and get going. I've got a big adrenaline rush. My elbow was absolutely killing me. And then also my left thumb, for some reason, must have landed on that funny, and it's still hurting to this day. So yeah, that wasn't ideal, but luckily, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I could have broken something. I could have hit my head badly. So I was very lucky. It just damaged my ego more than anything, to be honest. And then the run into transition was horrific. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm not very good at running that long after a swim, but the other guys just seem to be a bit better at that than me, so that's something that I potentially need to work on. Classic Swansea transition. The surface was really rough and my feet were absolutely killing me. I get on the bike, and Jack has like one of the fastest transitions ever. I think it's because of all the, short course stuff he's doing now with the paras. His transitions were absolutely incredible. So he goes up the road. I come out of T1, A little bit behind that main group, got Freddie Webb, you got a few of the other foreign athletes that came along. Don't know who else is in that group, but there's a few of them. And immediately on the bike, I feel terrible. Normally, I feel like I can put out really good power straight away, and I actually need to pull myself back a little bit because I'm putting out too much power early on. But that race, I was super out of breath, probably from the long run to transition. My legs were screaming at me for like not that much power. Well, I say not that much power, pushing like 370, 380, but normally I'm like pushing above 400. I'm like, shit, I need to pull this back. But yeah, my legs were not feeling good. But I get past this group and I just think like the legs will come good. I just was praying the legs would come good, and I knew I needed to keep the pace up because Andy's all the way up the road. He did the same thing last year and he got a 5-minute lead off the bike. So I knew we couldn't sit back and relax. We had to keep going. We had to keep the pace high. And I don't like sitting behind a group and just soft pedaling because it just feels like I'm then racing for like second place or third place. I'm not racing for the win. So I came past, even though I feel like I'm going to blow up completely, I just come past strong. And then yeah, riding pretty well. Myself and Freddie Webb, we catch up Jack Hutchins, which initial sighting of Jack in the distance, I genuinely thought it was Andy, and I was like, oh wow, like we've caught up Andy pretty quick. This is obviously really good news. This is the front of the race. Unfortunately, it was Jack, and it was like, oh man, Andy's still up the road. This really sucks, and we've been drilling it. So we get Jack involved in the group, and Jack's really good as well. So it's basically myself, Jack, and Freddie working pretty well, pretty strong together. Fortunately, there was definitely some sandbagging in the group. I'm not going to name names, but yeah, there was a bit of interesting dynamics going on, which did get us rather frustrated, us three. But anyway, we kept going. It was really nice to see Coach Rob on the side with the whiteboard, and he essentially said, we've got 20 seconds to Andy. So it was really nice to cut down that minute to 20 seconds. I think it was probably because, from what I've heard, Andy's actually had some mechanical issues, so it wasn't the fact that we were riding so much faster than Andy. I think he unfortunately had some issues on the bike. But it was good for us because then I saw 20 seconds. I was like, yeah, we can catch him. We can definitely drill it now. So then we come through and we catch Andy. And that was really, really good. But yeah, there was two athletes, let's just leave it there, two athletes behind that were essentially not doing that much work. And I was getting pretty frustrated. I think all of us were getting pretty frustrated. And so what I decided to do is I went behind Andy and Freddie. We're all riding pretty strong. We're in the last maybe 30k. My normalized power is already like 345. So I'm like well above where I've been before. And I'm thinking, okay, I still want to drop these guys because I know I've got a good run, but I want to guarantee that I come out of T2 ahead of them because I knew one of them was going to be a quick runner. And I don't want to be running with him, I want to be running ahead of him. So I let Andy and Freddie go up the road over one of the more sections on the second loop. So we've got, about 30k left to go. And I let the gap go. And I probably let the gap get out to about 80 meters or something. I look back and the two athletes that I won't name are behind. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to absolutely drill it. So I get in position, I hit like 450, 500 watts for a little bit to catch up with Freddie and Andy. I then come straight past and I shout to Freddie and Andy, 5 minutes hard, let's drop them and let's just go. And so I absolutely drill it for a little bit. Freddie comes through for a little turn, which is really nice of him. We come through, we're working hard, and we do manage to get a gap. So then it's essentially myself, Freddie and Andy riding really well together for the last, 15, 20k, which is really, really good. Unfortunately, Freddie did get some penalties, which, it's really unfortunate, and I don't necessarily think that fair as well. That's just my opinion. Unfortunately, the penalty system is very subjective, especially when you don't have Race Ranger, and I definitely feel like, Freddie believes that the first one, it could have been like, it probably was legit, but the second one I think was very unfair, and so that kind of put him in a bit of a bad mood. But we came into T2 all together, just the three of us, and Freddie decides not to take his penalties because it'd be 10 minutes. It's just like you're out of the race then. So takes the disqualification, but decides to, obviously decides to run and take the disqualification. Andy has a really quick T2, really, really quick. Probably runs out maybe 30 seconds in front of me. Honestly, I think it was a mix of Andy had a really quick T2 and my T2 was shocking, like embarrassingly slow. I pretty much couldn't open the plastic bag. I don't know what was going on. I was just fumbling about. So yeah, me and Freddie ran out of T2 together, and it was actually really nice that Freddie decided to run, because I could then pace my effort off of him. Like, we run together all the time, we're training together all the time. It's just really nice to have someone there kind of with you, sharing that effort, even if you know that he's going to get disqualified, which was really, really unfortunate, and I'm really gutted for him, but he's honestly showing so much potential. His swim was incredible. He was biking better than anyone else on the course, honestly. Like, he's, riding really, really well. And I know his run's fantastic. So he's got the ability to put it all together. It's just unfortunate it didn't happen on the day. But like I said, running together felt really good. And so I come out of T2 and I'm thinking, Andy's 30 seconds up the road. I'm fairly confident I can run quicker than Andy. I know he's running well at the minute, but I'm pretty confident in my run ability. I know Freddie's got a disqualification. So essentially I'm in second place right now. And it's just a matter of how much time do we have against the guys behind. I know Joe Skipper's a really good runner. I know the foreign lads were one of them. Can't remember his name now. It's going to be a very, very quick runner. And there are a few other guys as well. And obviously anything can happen. It's 21k. You can feel shit. You can feel good. You don't know what's going to happen. So I basically just settled into a really good rhythm. Started taking on a bit more fuel as well, because my stomach wasn't feeling amazing. And I definitely was on the low end on the bike. I think I had maybe 60, 65 grams of carbs an hour on the bike. So on the run, I knew I needed to keep topped up. And anyway, Freddie started flagging a little bit, 5k in, get past Andy, and then I'm in the lead. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'd say, I guess normally people would be like, yeah, I'm winning. Like, that's amazing. But actually my mentality was, I've still got 16k to go. My stomach's not feeling amazing. My legs are feeling okay, but I did normalize like 340 watts, so that's harder than I've ever biked before on a 70.3, and I know I've got quick runners behind me, so it's pretty much like minimizing damage. I knew that there were some quick guys behind, maybe a minute back, and so I just kept having to tick off the kilometers, tick it off, and what was really nice is there was so much support out there. The support at Swansea is incredible. It's like second to none. It's so good, and that really keeps you really fired up. But it's also nice to get the time gaps as well to people behind you. Keeps you really revved up, because when you're in the lead, it's hard to, you don't want to push too hard because you don't want to blow up, but you want to push hard enough because you have to stay away. My mentality was like, if it does come down to a sprint finish, I'm fairly confident I can out-sprint most people. I feel like I've got a really good kick on me, but I'd rather it doesn't, because I'd quite like to enjoy being in the lead for a little bit longer. So essentially we get 10k in and people are saying, he's a minute back, and he's chasing hard. I run past my coach at 13, 14k in, and he says, it's down to 55 seconds. He's running a few seconds per k quicker than you. Like, you can win, but you have to run hard. And that mentally like just flipped a switch for me, because I was like, okay, well, we're 14k in, I've got 7k left to go. I just need to absolutely drill it and I can win this. And so that mentally just pushed me on, and I went from running like maybe 325s to 330s to running 318s to 323s or something. I was really like, started to rev up a little bit, which is really nice kind of sensation that I was able to pick up that second half rather than flag. And that was really, really good. I counted on the last turnaround point, it was 52 seconds or something. And I was like, I just need to stay on it. I need to stay on it. And then luckily, I got within the last 3k, and someone said it's stretched out to 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. And I didn't really believe it, because I saw the guy, he was running really strong, and I didn't believe that I just put in another minute and a half to him. Like, how could that be possible? So I feel like someone might have got it wrong, so I just kept the pace on, and then got through the final stretch and looked behind. I was like, yeah, he's nowhere to be seen, so I can enjoy this now. Came down the red carpet, most incredible feeling ever, crossed the line, and then I am told that, I can go back down the finishing stretch because he is 2.5 minutes behind, which I don't really know how that happened, because I know I I definitely dug in a little bit and I did increase the pace, but yeah, maybe he fell off a cliff a little bit and I dug in, and the mix of that kind of created that time deficit. But yeah, that was incredible actually, and yeah, just felt so good. Managed to run I think it was pretty much a 112 and 7 seconds or something, maybe 8 seconds. So really happy with that. I know the Swansea course is pan flat, but I actually don't think the run's that quick because the bike is so hard, your legs are just completely fucked. And so you get on the run and you haven't got anything. So to run a 112, I'm really happy with. And I've still got that elusive like kind of idea that I want to run a 110, sub 110 off the bike, and I do feel like it's possible, but yeah, that was kind of all I needed on the day, I guess. And so yeah, super chuffed. It was amazing to share the podium also with Andy. It's his first pro podium, and he raced it so well. He had an incredible run. I think it was a 114, 115, and yeah, just really nice to see like your mates out there racing hard as well. Unfortunately, Jack Hutchins also had a penalty, but it was great to see him out there racing. So it's like, you know, I obviously want to beat these guys, but I also want them to do well as well. So to see Andy on the podium was really nice, and I know he's got plenty more there, and you know he'll continue to get on the podium, which is really cool. And yeah, leading on to the World Champ slot, which I guess a lot of people will have a question about. So I went to the prize giving, and people will definitely question this, but I've decided not to take the World Champ slot. It was a bit awkward because it's in front of everyone. They make you decide kind of on the evening, which is fair enough. And yeah, everyone takes their World Champ slot apart from me. But my reason for this is because the 70.3 Worlds are in Marbella next year. I raced Marbella last year, and the course just didn't suit me at all. I felt horrific. And maybe it was the fact that I was just on a really bad day, but I know a course like that is really not going to suit me. So I'm not 100% whether I want to go or not. I may still decide I want to go at some point. I'll obviously have to re-qualify, but I'm not 100% now. And I knew that Andy really wanted to go. There was only 2 slots. So one was for me and one was for the guy in second. Andy came third. I know that Andy's 100% keen on going, so it seems unfair for me to take the slot and not be 100% and potentially not take it later down the line than give it to Andy. So I'd rather him have it. He is then 100% like guaranteed to go to the Worlds. It's what he really wants to do, and it just felt like the right thing to do. So I know people might question that. People might be like, you should have gone to the World Champs. You rightfully qualified. But for me, that was the right thing to do, and I know Andy appreciated it. And it's just nice knowing that he's actually, he deserves that. And if I'm not massively keen on going, I don't need to, essentially. So that's kind of, information based on that. And yeah, so now I've got 2 back-to-back wins, which is amazing, really cool. For some reason, I don't know why in Wales, like maybe it's just like, it's kind of a lucky location for me. Unfortunately, there's no more racing in Wales this year, so we're going to have to wait until next year. But right now, what I'm going to do is have a little bit of time off. So I'm down in Devon at the minute, just enjoying some time with family, just having a bit of like a mid-season break. Enjoying some time with Melissa. Okay. Having a bit of like a mid-season break. And then what I'm going to do is gear up for 70.3 Europeans in Tallinn. So that's in about 5-ish weeks or so. So I'm having this week pretty unstructured, pretty chilled. 4 weeks really hard training. Potentially go to the Alps with Freddie and Leon, which would be amazing. Do 70.3 Tallinn. Probably 70.3 Italy. Then Ironman Barcelona is the plan. So that's then 3 races. Have a little bit of a break after that. And then do a really specific build up into 70.3 Worlds in, Taupo, in December. So essentially I've got a little bit of break now, block for the next bit of racing, 3 races, a little bit of a break, and then block towards the last race of the season, 70.3 Worlds. So yeah, that's the plan. I've got a lot of positivity going forward, but I also know that if I jumped straight back into training right now, I just wouldn't I don't think I'd necessarily enjoy it for some reason, or maybe I just would lack a bit of motivation. So having a bit of time off to refresh mentally and physically, and then get back to it. I'm really excited to already get back to training, but I know I need a little bit of time off just to enjoy it and soak it all up. And so yeah, lastly, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who was there in person, spectating, supporting, everyone on social media who's been supporting for, whether you're a new supporter or you've been a supporter for years and years and years. Thank you so much. All the sponsors, all the coaches, training partners, family members, everyone. I just want to say thank you so much, because the support's been incredible, and I genuinely feel like I'm just getting started. And so it's really cool to have people kind of come along for this journey and be a part of it. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.